Thank you, Freak. 2-1 now in the series, enemy up over TDK. And we were saying just before they came to us that this is the first game that we can really say was not necessarily decided in picks and bans. Both teams, you know, giving and taking a little bit with their picks, ending up with solid team fight comps. It came down more so to execution here.
Yeah, and the difference started from the level 1 in the sense that enemy had been lane swapped on both games before, and then as soon as they identified the lane swap was happening again, they called it back, they got regular lane so that Aurelia could get a really big lead on the Gnar, which eventually she was unable to lane 1v1 versus Gnar, relegated to the jungle. But a disappointing thing from TDK, which Trashy mentioned in his little pip before about TDK not being able to use the power spikes very well. Corki had a 50 CS lead on the Sivir, and the first time he was used anywhere on the map was at the 20-minute mark. He was so far ahead, yet, you know,
poor Lewis.
Didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Lewis, the 10th PG.
Yeah. He was so, and he's really important in this team where they have double tank team. Like, he is most of the damage, and their mid laner is a control mage. This Corki is what they're riding on. It's this early mid-game spike that they do have from Corki. But you're right, they weren't really able to gain a big advantage during that time. And there's a reason that we brought up the top laners for this matchup for these two teams, because Flares just dominated.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, adapting to the TP Smite meta, Seraph is. However, if you go down 100 CS in your lane, it doesn't matter that you have that challenging Smite.
Yeah, there's a lot of Aurelia power in this series. I mean, this is the team that banned Aurelia, then said, okay, you're going to ban Hecarim and not value Aurelia highly. Well, they're going to try and punish them for it. We know from past games that Aurelia is good against Gnar in the lane, which is one of the reasons he was able to get that advantage in the first place. And then they heavily prioritized his split push farm until they felt he was tanky enough to not die to any of the tanks, plus Louis' Corki build that didn't actually scale that well because he went last Whisper for his third damage item, which is not really what you want to do on Corki, and they ended up finding some really good team fights.
Yeah. That being said, it was a super close game, and up until enemy turned that turret fight around at their secondary turret.
Let's take a look at the turret fight, Crumbs. We're going to have you walk through this one. We'll pull that up on your screens right now.
So this is a team fight where when you look at the team compositions, the only sources of damage from TDK are Lissandra and Corki. Nobody else is going to be able to kill anybody. So you can roll the clip, and they start going, and Kassadin Rift walks offensively, and they seize the opportunity, and okay, let's kill Kassadin instantly. That's not going to happen. He's got a shield on, and Annie immediately reacts with a double stun on the carry, so you cannot kill the Kassadin instantly. And with no CC use, they use actually every single ultimate on Kassadin, and he gets away. And you're going to lose that fight if you can't get anything out of this. So what they have to take from this is when you play against an Annie composition, you need to kill the Annie first. Kill Annie, and they have no engage, no hard CC to deal with you. And after this point, Aurelia is just too tanky to deal with an almost purely magic-based composition.
And we were tracking how many auto attacks Louis XGG got off in that fight, and it was very, very few. We thought 3 auto attacks in that whole fight, and he missed most of his missiles too, which all starts because of the preemptive positioning. They all committed. I mean, props to them for being aligned on what to do as a team, but Corki can support without walking next to them.
It wasn't even just all the ultimates, it was every single basic ability too. Alistar whole combo, Zac used his E into his ultimate, all the,
That's the kind of dive, though, that we wish we would have seen come out 5-10 minutes earlier, as you were saying. Utilize those power spikes, because Corki has the burst potential at that point before the Aurelia gets just tanky enough, or the Kassadin gets just tanky enough with his shield and the re-engage.
Yeah, we saw Trashy get blown up a number of times early on while he was still building warriors and in the early game before he
There was a team fight at Dragon as well, where they actually comboed all their abilities when Aurelia was only at Trinity Force and Corki had a Trinity Force. Ulti the Aurelia instantly died. It wasn't even close. Like, you need to take advantage of your picks if you're going to go with this mid-game composition. And the game that they won, they didn't have a mid-game comp, so I'd like to see them shy away from the Corki just because they didn't really play with this power spike. If they do want to go with the Corki, though, early pick that Aurelia so you have another late game or physical damage threat.
I did really like their Alistar pickup that you thought that they would go with. Really good answer to Annie. We saw how many times he could zone out Annie as well as combo her to blow her up. So I think that was something that they
Yeah,
adapted
Smoothie
really well.
definitely on point with the Alistair. We've also mentioned already the importance of the Sivir pick now, 3 wins in this series. Probably going to be contested here again, as that was a champion that Louis was a little bit more successful with, 11-0 and 13. So now as we move into the next picks and bans, just real quick, I want to see what you guys think in terms of changes that might come across.
The thing that interests me the most is the fact that this is now the 4th game with the exact same side choices, and we have seen the evolution of the series. They've gone from split push versus team fight, split push versus team fight, okay, we're both better at team fighting, and now they're really just valuing the threat of, I guess, their mid-game team fight versus whether or not the Aurelia is powerful. I think we see an earlier Aurelia pick. Beyond that, I don't know how many more changes we see.
Right, they threw that Hecarim ban out. Now Flares has shown I can carry just as hard or put as much pressure on the map with Aurelia. They might not have enough bans to deal with that.
I think an interesting factor has been that Kyle has played Lissandra 3 games in a row, and this is the one game that he was actually punished hard in lane. He did not know how to lane against Kassadin. He died multiple times in laning phase and should have died plenty more if it wasn't for enemy misplay. So are they going to ban Kassadin or take another matchup that they will certainly lose in the mid lane? I'd like to see him shy away from that, but if his only picks are Jason Zed, then he's going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, we'll see what they come out with. Entry into the LCS is just 1 game away for Enemy Esports. We'll see if they can close it out in our 4th game of the North American Challenger Series Finals. Stay with us.
All right, guys, we can do this.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
Again, gets aggressed on. He will be the kill. No, they just can't get any damage. Finally, Ignite takes the kill down, but it's already 2. It knocks a bit of damage to the front lines and a lot of AoE coming through. Otter chunked out by Louis GG, wins the fight as Corki.
Don't go too hard.
I'm on Corki, I'm on Corki.
Yeah, finish Corki.
Keep going.
Keep going,
Keep
keep
going.
going.
Keep going. I accidentally did that on purpose. Okay, keep going. Good job.
Timbers comes down. Knockout from Trash. They push him around, but Louis GG, that half health summoner heal, who cares? Gets the kill picked up. Another one on Anar, and they are now 1 away from joining the North American LCS.